Hey, Jarek here, and this is a Blowback shell ejecting Nerf gun. There is no gas in here, there's no magazine here, there's no battery in here. This is entirely on its own. That may seem like magic, and that's kind of what I thought at first, but the explanation as to how this works is actually pretty simple. Oh, and here's the magazine. You can tell there's nowhere to put gas at all. This is just where the casings go. First things first, you can buy this on a Chinese website for about $40. That's the only place I've been able to see where you can buy this. I can't see it anywhere on any North American or European shop, so do keep in mind if you do buy it, it is going to be shipped from China. That will take quite a bit of a while. But to be honest, I wouldn't really recommend it. While this is really cool in concept, it's not very good in execution. This thing jams and just malfunctions all the time. So let me explain how this thing works. The blowback is pretty simple. It's basically just two springs in tension in two different directions, so that functions on its own. However, then you probably have the question, well then, how does it shoot anything, right? Like, that can't pull a spring back. There's definitely not enough power there for that. So how does it actually fire a projectile? Well, that's actually a pretty easy solution as well. To be honest, this gun could have been made like 40 or 50 years ago with that technology that they had. The darts it fires are incredibly small little plastic darts. They don't require much force. What actually launches them is a spring in the casing itself. And there's a button on the back of the casing. When that gets hit, it releases the spring and launches the dart. As you could assume, this doesn't really launch it very hard, but again, it's this tiny little plastic thing, so it doesn't need that much force. Effectively, what this means is that this basically functions like an open bolt SMG. Every time it shoots, the slide goes back, it comes forward, and then it hits the button on the back of that casing, launching that dart. The casing you see eject out of the gun is actually from the previous shot that had already been fired out of the barrel. This has some downsides. For starters, this has a slide lock. But that also means that if you load a fully loaded magazine, put it in here and release the slide, that hits the back of that casing, launching the dart immediately before you pull the trigger. Effectively, your first shot is useless like this. And since it is also completely locked, do not pull the slide back. If you do that, you will break the gun. Basically, you just load a fully loaded magazine, put it in, start shooting. That first shot will fire because the slide will cycle, slam forward, and then fire that dart. Okay, so I wanted a brief explanation because when I first saw this online, it just seemed like magic. I had no idea how it worked. I wanted some answers, and I don't see any other videos on it. I think I'm the first one to have this gun and make a video on it. However, like I said before, I really wouldn't recommend this. It's very temperamental. It doesn't exactly work like it's supposed to. It was such a pain filming shots for this gun. Just trying to get one mag to function like it's supposed to in a row took forever. More often than not, it would stovepipe jam, or something just wouldn't shoot, something would go wrong. Hell, I even had this happen once.
That's new.
So yeah, while it's a cool idea, and when this does work, it's awesome, it just doesn't work often. If you want a reliable shell ejecting blowback Nerf gun, I would recommend getting a flywheel one that you can actually just get on Etsy. Yeah, it doesn't look like a Glock, but it works. Anyway, with that all said, when this does work, again, it is cool, and I did get quite a few shots of this thing actually working, so let's just cut to this thing shooting.